Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to have fun doing a full face of Clé de Peau makeup. I will be using and sharing my thoughts on the Clé de Peau. I have the new foundation tint that recently launched, and I will let you know that I have been wearing and playing with this for a few weeks now, so I kind of really wanted to give it a road test before sharing my thoughts with you on this new foundation from Clé de Peau. Now there is a lot of sales going on where you can get Clé de Peau on sale, and I wanted to go ahead and do a full face of my favorites because this is a beautiful luxury brand, but it is expensive, and I do think there are certain products that are totally worth the money, but especially if you can get them on sale. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about the new foundation from Clé de Peau, along with my tried and true favorite products that I totally recommend, then let's go ahead and get started. Hello everyone, I am so excited to put some makeup on this face. I'm hoping everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving. We definitely did, and I had my daughter home for Thanksgiving and we had a bunch of fun together. But one of the sales I noticed that was going on was the Clé de Peau sale, which is such an amazing brand. And I thought what I would do today is just go ahead and do a full face of Clé de Peau favorites. Now, this is a luxury brand. The products are pricey, but it is one of those brands that I actually think is worth it. The ones that I'm going to be sharing with you today are some tried and true favorites, as well as the new Clé de Peau. This is the foundation tint, and I am in love with this foundation. It is so pricey, but for those of you who may be a bit more mature and you really care about having skincare infused into your makeup, I think you might fall in love with this because basically it is their cult favorite La Creme that has been tinted, and so it feels very luxe, very moisturizing on the skin, and it actually gives you quite some great coverage. I'm going to be using this foundation today. So on their site, they're having, the more you spend, the more percentage you get off. I'm not sure what their Cyber Monday sale is going to be, but I've also seen sales at Neiman Marcus and Saks. So just thought I would use a bunch of my favorites, and if you are intrigued, now is a good time to dive in because there is sales going on. So we are going to start with this foundation tint. First of all, stunning packaging, absolutely gorgeous. And I actually spent quite some time testing out the different colors in this foundation, and I landed on my favorite as being 030. So typically in Clé de Peau, I can wear both B20 or 020, and in the foundation I found that I needed to go up one color because it ran a bit lighter. And after testing the B30, the B20, the 020, and the 030, I landed on picking up 030 because it seemed to be the most neutral, and that's ochre. So in general, I consider myself to have light to medium skin tone with slightly rosy undertones, but in the Clé de Peau foundations, I often like to go with the ochres, which have a little bit more of a warm undertone because those tend to be a bit more neutral than the B shades. So that's a long way of saying that I got 030. Now I've been wearing this quite a bit. I've already made a nice little dent in here, and the way that I like to use this is it comes with a little nice spatula, and then I will just dot a little bit of this on right here, and right here is a swatch of 030. And you'll see it sort of just blends right into my skin here. And then I do have the foundation brush, which I love. And I am going to use this to gently blend this into the skin. This foundation is ultra luxurious. It feels weightless on the skin, and it's infused with skincare ingredients that are going to blur imperfections and reduce the look of fine lines and wrinkles for a radiant finish. This foundation instantly blurs and camouflages for an even toned radiant finish that's going to last up to 24 hours. The luxuriously rich yet lightweight cream melts on contact with the skin to moisturize, plump, and protect, while reducing the appearance of lines and wrinkles and promoting firmness. The finish is sheer, buildable, and exquisitely radiant. It has an SPF of 22 that is going to protect your skin against the harmful UV rays. Okay, here is what this foundation looks like. And what I will tell you is this foundation really does feel like it's improving my skin. It feels very plush and hydrating, and yes, it is super expensive. So this isn't going to be a foundation for everyone. I honestly think it is for people with more mature skin, or people that also have dry skin. I think you would enjoy this, and I do love this foundation for the winter months because my skin does feel like it's getting an extra dose of hydration, and it does feel like when I take this makeup off at night, I do think that my skin feels softer, more hydrated. So I actually feel like it is doing something good for my skin. So I actually like the new version better than the old version, partly because the old version contained mica in it, which will totally give you a gorgeous glow, but it almost was a bit too glowy. And I know this is from somebody who loves a glowy foundation, but I just felt like there was a pinch too much of the mica in it, whereas I find the new version to give me that beautiful radiant glow, but just a little bit more subtle. So I've really been enjoying this foundation. So I wanted to highlight this foundation today because there's so many sales going on that of course it makes it a little bit easier to splurge on a foundation like that when you can get it on sale. And I just really enjoy this, and I find that Clé de Peau is one of the best for complexion products. They just really do infuse all of their makeup with their skincare, and their skincare is popular for a reason. Okay, the next product that is a no-brainer, this is another cult favorite, that is the Clé de Peau concealer, and I do feel like everybody could use this in their arsenal. Now, I don't personally like to put this one underneath my eyes. I have before, but I personally really like their Radiant Eye Corrector for underneath my eyes because I like to brighten up. This works great, but it is going to have more coverage, so I do think that some people are going to like the concealer better for that purpose. But I actually love to use this as a spot corrector. I also like to use it just as foundation all over my face. I feel like it gives this really beautiful kind of creamy radiant finish. And so after I use the foundation, if I want to add any extra coverage, I will take the concealer, and I like to kind of warm a little bit of this up on my finger here, and I actually have it in a couple different colors, and I've had the concealer in the color ochre, which I really like. This one I actually picked up in almond, and what I like to do is just warm it up on my fingers, and then I have a few little spots. A little something on my nose, not liking that, but I will kind of do a little extra coverage where I need it and highlight with this concealer. And you guys can let me know if you want me to show you how I use this just as foundation, because it is so good. Love, love, love that. But for today, I am going to go ahead and pop on the eye corrector. So good. So I love the concealers from PEAU. Again, I think their complexion products are top notch. I love so many of their foundations, to be honest with you. I love the Radiant Matte Foundation. I love the Radiant Cream Foundation. I love the foundation tint now. So honestly, you can't go wrong with any of the complexion products. And a new discovery that I have fallen in love with, and a subscriber told me I have to get this. This is the PEAU bronzer, and I have this in number 1. I believe that is just tan, and this is what it looks like. And this is just so pretty. So one side's going to be a little bit deeper if you kind of want to contour. The other's a little bit lighter. I tend to just mix the two together. I just mix the two together, and then I'm going to go ahead and give my skin a little bit of warmth. And here's what this bronzer looks like. And I think what I'm loving about this bronzer right now is because it's perfect for this time of year. It's going to give my skin a bit of warmth, but I don't feel like it's overly golden or overly tan looking. It's just so finely milled, and I had a subscriber tell me for so long that I have to get this bronzer, that I'm going to just fall in love with it. And you were right, of course, so thank you for the little nudge. I know that PEAU is an expensive brand, so it's not something that you just jump into. But again, if you can get any of these things on sale, I do think that you're going to really enjoy your products. So, love this bronzer. And then the next product is something that I truly think is worth it, and these are the PEAU Cream Blushes. And I just love the texture of these cream blushes, and I literally think these might be the best cream blushes. I'm somebody who loves cream blushes. I have them in 2 colors. My most used is number 4, and this is peach color, and it's really a nice neutral peach tone. And then I also have it in number 2, and this is Pale Fig, and this is this beautiful pink tone here. Let me swatch these for you. So I love to do a combination of both of these on my skin. This is number 4 Peach, and then this is number 2 Pale Fig. And what I like is I will put this on first, the more neutral, and then on the apples of my cheek I will pop on a little bit of the Pale Fig, and you will see it's going to just look very natural. It's going to be very radiant, nice and glowy. And I generally would just go ahead and use the little foundation brush. I'm going to start with the peach, and I will just place a bit. You can use your fingertips as well, but this is a great kind of synthetic brush that you can use it for more than just the foundation. Can you see how pretty? It gives your skin this just really pretty radiant glow. And then I will take a little bit of the Pale Fig, and I'll use my fingers with this, and I'll just put that right kind of circular. on the apples for a little flush. Then I'll take that brush and I'll just kind of tap that in to my skin. But all of a sudden, I will look like I've had more sleep than I actually have. Now, the cool thing about these blushes, and the reason why I think they are worth the money, is that these are going to stay on my skin. Sometimes cream products will kind of like get eaten up by the end of the day, but this is going to stay on my skin. So I'm kind of surprised because when you feel the texture of them, they just glide on like silk, that you start to think like, maybe it's gonna kind of get, your skin might absorb it by the end of the day, but it doesn't. It just is really a fantastic formula, super hydrating. I love the radiant glow, and I find that it just looks very natural as it wears throughout the day. Okay, we've got a nice little radiant glow. I'm now gonna go ahead and do my eyes, and I do feel like their eyeshadows are underrated because these are so creamy, so buttery, but they don't get enough love on YouTube, or at least in my estimation. And one of my favorite little quads here is Golden Lace, and it's just going to create a very soft, pretty look on the eye. Initially, when I got into Clé de Peau, I wasn't really attracted to their eyeshadows because they all seemed very shimmery, and that's what I would tell you, is that these really wear so beautifully on the eye. They have a little bit more of a satin finish to them, very soft, very blendable, very pretty, and this is just one of my most worn. So I like to start with this color right here, and I like to place that all over my eye, kind of like in the lid all the way up to the brow bone, and it just creates, and it's just such a pretty base color. Then I like to go into this shade here, and we are going to place a little bit of that kind of on the crease. We're going to work sort of the outer V over here into that crease, and just give my eyes a little definition here. Super blendable. Then I love to go into this peachy apricot shade here. And then with a flat brush, I love to place this one right on the mobile lid. And here's what I've created so far. It's just a really pretty soft wash of color. And then I'll take a teeny bit of this gold, which is so pretty. And I like to just pop a teeny bit of here, kind of right above the iris, just like that. And then I will blend it in. Just think it's so pretty. And with a smaller brush here, I'm going to run a little bit of this pretty, it has a little bit of a purple undertone. I'll put a little bit of that underneath my lash line right here. And then I'm going to run a little bit of this near the lash line on the top. Then I'm going to go ahead and tighten my upper lash line. I'm actually using Chantecaille's Slate, and I just want to do a little definition near my lash line. so much better. So I'm going to quickly go clean up my brows, put on some mascara, and then we can finish off the rest of my face. This is another beautiful fruity floral, but an adult fruity floral. And I've just fallen in love with this because there is almost a note of clean shampoo in here. I say this in the best way possible, but I just love it because it's got this gorgeous bouquet of florals. There's a blackberry note in here, but there is almost like a yummy shampoo note that is going to make you feel clean as well. And I've just been loving this. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on. Now, I initially have held off on this perfume because there's a bit of a sharp note when you first spray it out. I believe that is maybe from the bamboo note in here, so it does make it interesting. But then when that dissipates, it just dries down to this really gorgeous powdery floral, very sophisticated scent. It's got this pretty blackberry note in here, but it is going to dry down to a soft, powdery musk fragrance. The notes in here are mandarin, nectar, and blackberry. That's the top notes. Heart notes are pink orchid and bamboo. And then in the base, it is black amber, musk, and creamy sandalwood. So this is a very sophisticated floral because the fragrance was a tribute to Greta Garbo, a woman who chose to be herself. Critics be damned. And I do think this fragrance screams strong woman, be yourself. It is just a really great scent from Vilhelm Parfumerie, and I have noticed that I've just been really into sort of sophisticated fruity floral fragrances, and since this is going to be 20% off at Twisted Lily, I wanted to give a shout out for this one as well. So I'll leave that information down below in the description box. I know that there's so many sales going on and that it can be overwhelming, but I did want to do a full face of Clé de Peau because it is an expensive luxury brand, but their products really are fantastic, and I do think they are worth picking up on sale. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with another video soon.